Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And today I want to offer the Oracle and Tarot reading for the elemental energy of Earth, and the zodiac signs that fall under the Earth energy are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And the way I like to read is intuitively, and these messages will be a little bit different than what's on the cards and what's in the little booklets. And these messages may resonate today and any time through time and space, because when you read Oracle and Tarot cards, the messages can be for immediate or later. And because I read for a group of energies, the messages that come through may be for you personally, or they may not resonate for you, which would mean they are for another person within that energy field. So I'm trying out a new deck this month as well, and it's the Gateway of Light Activation deck by Kyle Gray, and I read week to week, and there's approximately 5 weeks in March. So we'll do 5 separate readings. I read a guide or guardian per week, a message from source per week, and then a lesson or challenge from the tarot. And I am trying something a little bit different by having some background music playing, so hopefully it works out. Let me know in the comment section what you think of that. And with that, we'll get started on the Earth reading for March of 2023. And your first guide or guardian, is the Orange Dragon. Brings soul families and communities together, spread belonging, warmth, and oneness, bringing people together everywhere. So your guide or guardian for this first week is really about connection. And with Earth energies, you tend to be more focused on the hearth and home, is what the meaning is, really. So this is really about building that community. This dragon is coming in to remind you that you're a social creature. That doesn't always have to be about being at home and being alone. It can be being at home in a group of like-minded individuals. And what the Orange Dragon is coming forward to say is, let me help you work with and clear any of the heaviness that may be associated with being out in public, being around people. And this dragon is coming to say, let's work together, let's build your soul family. So working with this dragon this first week of March is really about learning to work with the energy of attracting your soul tribe, aligning your heart and family into basically a more higher frequency state. So let's look at your message from Source. And it is Shambhala Initiation, retreating to recharge, trust in the process, and Dharma. So this card is really talking about trusting your intuition. You're working with the Orange Dragon, building your soul tribe, your soul family, and working with the energy of connection and community. And what you're doing is you're working with this energy. The message from Source is this Shambhala Initiation. This is bringing you into the energy of a spiritual community, a soul family. But it also could be calling you into a deeper connection with your own family, because you have this on the card. It's talking about retreating to recharge and trusting the process. So while you're working with your soul family, you're going to find that kind of like a retreat from the outside world, the people who are not 100% aligned with your values or your spiritual energy, and that's going to recharge you by being with the people who are on the same journey, who are working with the same similar energy. And your message from Source is trust that process of connection, that process of working with the people in your tribe, in your group. Sometimes retreating from the outside world, instead of going out and going to a business meeting or a business dinner or whatever, you're going home to spend time with your family, and that's a recharging thing for you. So that's what your message from Source is saying, is it's okay to connect in with your spiritual family, because that's going to recharge you, but it's also a good thing to pull away from those who are not aligned 100%, but less aligned with your spiritual journey, and just take that time to reconnect. So let's look at, if I don't drop my cards, your lesson or challenge from the tarot. It is the Nine of Wands. Nine of Fire. Have to edit the picture, sorry. And so the Nine of Wands is saying that you don't have to go it alone, and that's what your challenge is this week. You have the dragon, orange dragon, coming in saying, let's work as a community, let's find you your community. The Shambhala initiation message from Source is saying, retreat from the outside and work within your community to recharge and basically learn to follow your instincts more. And the challenge from the tarot is saying it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to work with someone else, because a lot of times when you think about retreating, you think about pulling away from everybody. And the lesson or challenge is saying don't pull away from everybody, pull away from people who are not helping or not benefiting, and pull with the people who need to, or that you need to work with to help growth. So you've got this week. This first week is really about stepping away and figuring out who's helping and who isn't. And it could be just your coworkers are driving you nuts, so you spend time at home. It could be things along that line, or you need maybe to go speak with your priest, rabbi, fill in the blank, life coach, because you need that extra help. And that's what the challenge is don't be afraid to ask for the help. So let's look at the second week of March for Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn in 2023. And we have the Alpha Dragon. Harness the divine masculine power of creation. Destroy the old. Visualize your dreams. Help to manifest a new world. I'm not sure why I'm so yawny. So you've got this Alpha Dragon, this very dominant male version of energy coming in for this second week. So this is a time, the first week was about retreating, kind of recharging and readdressing, following your instincts, building your soul family, connecting in with your own family even deeper. And now you've got this the support system in place, and that's allowing you to step forward. That's the Alpha Dragon energy. That's that energy of putting yourself out there, putting yourself, even if you're a little bit nervous, maybe scared of doing this, speaking up in that business meeting, saying, hey, I think this would be a better option at some other event you're involved in. But it's really about tapping into that more projective, more stand in your power alpha masculine energy. So this second week is really about standing in your power, being a little bit more assertive than normal, because the masculine is a projective energy. The alpha energy is a projective energy. So when you're standing in your power, you're allowing that energy to come forward, say, no, I want you to see me. I want you to hear me. It doesn't mean you have to be rude, but it means standing up for yourself and standing up for your ideas and your principles. So that's the energy from, or that's your guide for the second week. Let's look at your message from Source for this second week of March. I almost said December, and I'm not sure why I thought that. Your message from Source is the Order of Melchizedek, embraced by light, mission uncovered, and don't give up. Melchizedek was an ancient king, and the king that held a significant amount of power. And in certain alchemical circles, Melchizedek was also an immortal who discovered the secret of alchemy, transmuting the sorcerer's stone, creating the philosopher's stone, however you want to phrase it, being able to create the elixir of life. So he's an immortal. So the Order of Melchizedek are people who follow this path of divine spiritual enlightenment. You have the Alpha Dragon coming in saying it's okay to be more assertive, it's okay to step into your power. And now you have the Order of Melchizedek coming forward saying, now tap into that power. You're stepping into it, which is great, but just because you're standing there doesn't mean you know how to use it. So the Order of Melchizedek is saying step into that pillar of light, allow it to infuse you, allow your divine intuition to guide those next steps. And when you start to do that, you start to realize what your soul path is. You start to understand what you're meant to do here. We don't have, as a rule anyway, divinely laid out, this is what's going to happen at this time. When you're 34, you're going to meet this person, you're going to take this job. You set up energy plans, and there's variations because there's a lot of options. We live in a world of free will. And so when you're stepping into that power, you're stepping into, this was the area of my life that I was wanting to experience. this is what my soul journey is meant to be, was to be in this energy field. And the ending of this card is really the supporting part. You're stepping into your energy with the Alpha Dragon. You're working with this energy because you're stepping into it, and now you have to learn how to work with it. That's where Melchizedek comes in. And the message is, don't give up. It could be a little bit stressful. It could be a little bit of a fear thing of like, well, if I speak up, what they might not like it, or I might get some pushback. You probably will. That's life. But the thing is if you are stepping into your soul's mission, you're going to feel that pushback. You're going to feel that resistance, because your light, your ability to stand in that power, is going to make other people uncomfortable, and they are going to push back. They don't want you stepping forward. They want you to stay where you are. And when you're working with the Alpha Dragon and that masculine energy, it's going forward. It's projective. There is no pushback. We're going forward. But you're working with the Order of Melchizedek, so you're learning to step into that power. Melchizedek's teaching you how to work with that power. So you've got these two energies that are saying, nope, we're not going back. Time to go forward. Get moving. And the underlying message is, don't give up. It's going to be a journey, don't get me wrong. But it's going to be something that is going to align with your soul. So even with that pushback, you're still going to feel like it's the right thing to do, and you're going to continue on with that path. So your second week is very much about pushing forward and dealing with the hiccups that might come up along the way. Now your lesson or challenge from the tarot is the Eight of Wands. You have a lot of wands so far, which is a lot of fire energy. And so you have the Eight of Wands coming forward as your lesson or your challenge. And this is an ongoing thing, is what they're saying. This is not something that you're just going to burst through this one time and it'll be over. The challenge is understanding that there's a flow. There is this push, pull, up, down. You're going to be moving in waves, but the thing is you're not going straight across. You're actually pushing up each time you go through this, and each time that you have to repeat this, pushing forward, stepping into your power, extending your energy field, basically, you're going to end up in a higher frequency. So the challenge is, don't get discouraged when you get that pushback, because if you take a figure 8, and one day I'll figure out some technology, and you tip it on your side, you have this loop-de-loop. And so when you come down to these low points, that's the pushback. But if you push through it, you come back up to the top. And when you get to the next level, you're going to go down again, you're going to come back up, you're going to go down, but you're moving in an ever upward trend. And that's the thing, is you're working in an upward trending area that's going to have some hiccups along the way. And the lesson or the challenge is, it's okay for those to happen, because you need those down points to basically allow yourself to rest. Because if you push constantly upwards without taking that downward break, it makes it a little rough on life. So let's look at your third week's guide or guardian. Wow, that one about fell out of my hand. So we have the Silver Lunar Dragon, bathes you in divine feminine light. Come into balance and practice peace, harmony, and cooperation. Expand your causal chakra. So the second week was all about tapping into the divine masculine, stepping into that projective energy, and learning how to use that in the appropriate time, in the appropriate way. Now you have the Silver Lunar Dragon, and this is a much more passive and receptive energy. So in the second week, you were pushing forward, and in this one, this is that down sweeping energy where now that you've stepped up, you've said your piece, you're learning how to work with that newer energy. Now it's time to assimilate it. Bring that energy in, allow it to fill you up. And when you're doing that, you're bringing in that divine feminine energy. So you went projective and aggressive, and I'm going to say my piece and stand in my authority in the second week. This third week is, okay, I've done that part. Things went the way they're supposed to. Now I'm on the quiet part where I'm assimilating what happened. I'm taking that and learning from it. And so you're working with the divine feminine in this this third week, and it's really about working with the Silver Lunar Dragon. And I'm hearing that if you have silver jewelry or even a silver coin, like back in the 40s and 50s, the coins were still silver, to carry one of those with you this week, just as a way to remind yourself that this week is a gentler week. It's time to step back. It's time to allow things to come to you. You're not being as active. You're now being receptive. There's still a lot of power in this form of receptivity, so don't think that it's, oh, masculine better than feminine. The masculine is very projective, the feminine is very receptive. One is very giving, and one is very pushing forward. The other one is accepting and allowing. So the second week was all about pushing forward, making your voice heard, doing your thing. This third week is now you're allowing the benefits to come to you. So there's always that balance that's in play. So your message from Source is Gaia's gateway activation, learning experiences, wisdom transmission, and earth intelligence. So your message from Source is, say, tap into your root energy, your earth, your Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Therefore, this message from Source is saying, be who you are. Earth is a feminine receptive energy field. It is really about tapping into your innate talents, learning to ground yourself and keep yourself stable and centered. You're working with silver lunar energy, which can be a little bit up in your head because the moon is very intuitive, very dreamy, very much about escaping your everyday life. And this is saying, that's fine, stay grounded. So you can allow yourself to dream and vision and journey as you're receiving, you're intuiting and all the rest, but keep your feet planted on the ground so that as you're out here, you can come back in. And it's kind of this, again, that push and pull, that ebb and flow energy. So let's look at your lesson or challenge from the tarot. And if you're enjoying this video, please drop a like on it, and any comments or suggestions, drop them in the comments section below. I'd really appreciate it. And your lesson or challenge is a major arcana card. It is the Hierophant, number 5. This is wisdom. This is active knowledge put into play. This is also a solitary journey. But you have the scarab beetle, which is a symbol of transition. There we go. It is proof of life after death. It's reincarnation. It's rebirth. So what's coming up is your lesson or your challenge for this third week is you're working with this divine masculine in the second, divine feminine in the third, and what you're doing is this is a period of rebirth. Rebirth can be a little bit rough, just being upfront with you. And so you're building this a newer vision of who you are. You're building this image of, I know when to step into my power. I know when to step up and say, no, this isn't going to happen. I also know when to step back and be like, thank you, I appreciate what you're offering me. So you've got this new view of life. And the Hierophant is saying, when you learn those steps, you learn to stand alone in some situations, because knowing when to step forward, when to step back, other people may not realize what's going on. The people who truly know you are going to understand it, and they're going to appreciate it. They may not be able to emulate it or match it, but they're going to appreciate it. And the challenge or the lesson is, it's okay for people to not understand what you're doing and how you're acting, because if you're following your intuition, you're connecting into the divine source, God energy, your life is going to be unique. All of our lives are unique, but yours is going to be unique in the fact that the people around you, as you're growing, as you're changing, may not recognize it. And your lesson or challenge for this third week is, that's okay. So let's look at the fourth week, guide or guardian. And I say that because it can be a guide for you, or it could help guard you from. And it's up to you on how you work with that energy. And it is the Sunshine Yellow Dragon. Helps you to help animals, serving animals, heal, respect, and understand. So this is telling you to get out in nature. So this fourth week of March is really about outdoorsiness, which again works with your natural energy earth element. So this is being out in the sunshine. If you've got pets, maybe give them a little extra treat. If you have the ability and the time, maybe even making it a family event, volunteering for a day at the animal shelter, walking dogs, cleaning kennels, whatever. But it's really about tapping into your more outdoorsy part of who you are. Whether that's working directly with animals, those are some thoughts that came forward. But the other one they're saying is, even if it's something as simple as planting a little patio garden, putting a couple pots out with some flowers, or planting some seeds, but it's really about tapping back into a grounding part of your life, being out in the sunshine, being outdoors, allowing nature and appreciating nature. So even if you're one of those people who tends to run around head down in a book like me, or you're on your phone, or you're whatever it is you're doing, take time to take a deep breath. Take your lunch outside at work and just appreciate the trees, the birds. Even if you're in a city, find a park that you can go to and then just notice how much life really is there in the outdoors, even in a big city. I've seen some entertaining videos of even coyotes running around in cities, so there's always a way for nature to make herself known to you. And that's what you're working with the fourth week, is this energy of tapping back into and understanding the natural order. So let's see what your message from Source is. It is the Halls of... Oh, that's a new word. I have not seen this card before. Halls of Amenti Initiation. Secrets revealed, treasures uncovered, and initiations. So as you're working with this outdoorsy nature energy, what you're doing is you're actually tapping back into the secret of who you are. As an earth elemental energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, or however that manifests in your life, you are very much attached to earth, whether you realize it or not. Your attachment to nature is very, very strong. And this is saying it's time to remind yourself of who you are and where you come from. And during that process of reawakening, or you could call it initiation, because you're starting to tap into that other aspect of yourself, and that's allowing growth. But that growth has to go through piercing a veil, and that can be a little uncomfortable. So you're being outdoors and you're helping revive yourself, and this is saying this is the reason that you're doing this, is you're actually awakening another part of yourself. You're reconnecting to who you are. So let's look at your lesson or challenge from the tarot. And my tarot deck is really not being talkative today, so I apologize for that. Usually it kicks out cards, at a lot of cards when I am looking, and today it's like, nope, just kidding. But if you enjoy this music, let me know. Like I said, I'm experimenting with some music in the background for these. So your lesson or challenge is the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Earth. So this is coming to the end of a cycle, and when you come to the end of a cycle, you have a new cycle beginning, and that's that initiation energy. So your lesson or challenge is being able to let go of what has been and allow yourself to be opened up to, initiated to, the next level. So your challenge is, can you let it go? Can you step away from the things that were in the past? You're not leaving them, you're not forgetting the lessons, you're not forgetting the people, the job, the fill in the blank, but there is a cycle, an energy pattern that is over, and it's time to, your challenge is, can you let it go? Can you separate yourself from that old energy and allow this new energy to come in? Working in this type of energy, this world, this energy field type concepts, you have these processes where nature hates a vacuum. So as long as you're holding on to the past, you can't have this new energy come in. So the 10 of Pentacles is saying it's time to let go of some of the old earth patterns, your third dimensional earth patterns, and allow this higher frequency to come in. The higher frequency can't come in if you're holding on to the past. So you have to let that go, and that allows the new energy to come in. That new energy coming in can cause a little bit of a shakeup and some shifting of things in life, but for you, it's going to be a slower process just because earth energy doesn't move quickly in most cases. And when it does move quickly, it's very dramatic. Look up earthquakes, for instance. But you're in this period of shifting your energy and transitioning out of an old pattern, and that's what the 10 of Pentacles is saying, is their old pattern is dying. It's time to let it go. You're not going to forget the memories, you're not going to forget the lessons, you're not going to forget the people, but there's an energy system that is over, and it's time to let it go. And that's where you're coming in with this Sunshine Dragon and the Halls of Amenti Initiation, where you have something new happening, something new is trying to birth itself, but it's time to release an old energy pattern so this new energy pattern can set in. And your 5th and last week of March is the Golden Solar Dragon. This is your guide or guardian. Helps you to stand in your masculine power with wisdom. Let your DNA be reprogrammed and light codes activated. Become an inspired leader. So we're tapping back into that energy from the 2nd week. So as you have went through this month, it has been ups and downs, a lot of healing, a lot of balancing of masculine and feminine energies, but you're ending on a stronger note. You've done this work, you've stepped into this newer frequency, you've learned to let go of things, and what you're tapping into now is this last week is you're tapping back into that golden sun energy. You worked with the silver lunar energy in the 3rd week, but this 5th week is now you're back into the sun aspect of things. This is a growth period. This is stepping into your masculine energy again. And when you're in the sunlight, and this is something that I'm starting to understand more now, you actually do change your genetic makeup just a little bit. It's usually like a reinvigoration. It's not you're going to alter your entire DNA strand. But what you're doing is you're reinvigorating it, especially when you allow the sun. Don't put like makeup or sunscreen on, but go out and allow the sun to hit this section of your forehead, especially for 10 to 15 minutes. Early morning sun is a little more gentle, so that's what I'd recommend is east sun in the morning, and just allow that to really hit that area. Allow the sun to be on your skin without sunscreen, without sunglasses. Just enjoy that feeling of the sun, and you're tapping into those higher frequencies. You're bringing in light. The light codes, that is a spiritual term for an energy that comes in to help heal you, uplift you. Some people call them spiritual downloads, but you're going to get a lot of those this last week from the sun is what they're saying, and that's where the golden solar dragon is coming in to say, let's work on building you up. You're learning how to work with this more projective, more stand in your power type energy, and the sun is going to be a guiding force for that. So just something to be aware of in that 5th week of March. And let's see what your message or your message from source is this last week. And my deck doesn't want to give me a message apparently. So it's apparently going to be a good one. Whenever they are a little bit more sticky, the cards, they tend to kick out a pretty interesting message when it does come through, because they're trying to get the right card forward. And it is Inner Earth, your base chakra, your root chakra, strength and security, and laying a foundation. So what this card is really talking about is you're bringing in these very high frequency energies. You're invigorating your DNA. You're reawakening your third eye. And as you do that, there's actually a face in this card if you look. 2 eyes, mouth, or it could be other things too, but we won't talk about that. But what it's really saying is bringing this energy in is great. What are you going to do with it? That's where you bring it into your root. You ground it into who you are. Working with grounding your root chakra, if you have the ability, and there's not snow on the ground like there will be for those of us in middle of Idaho, sitting down directly on soil is a way to bring the energy in, bring that solar energy in, and then grounding it, because it's going to create that draw. It's like a magnetic draw when you put that part of your body on the ground. Even if you can't sit on the ground, if you can find an actual rock, not a concrete bench, but actual rock, and sit on that and allow that same energy to travel through your system, you'll notice a difference. When you're standing with shoes on, you'll feel the energy come in, don't get me wrong. But when you actually put yourself in a position where your root chakra is on something grounded to earth, on a rock, sitting on the ground by itself, even a tree stump will do it, you'll feel that energy shifting in a different way. It's kind of fun to play with, just so you get kind of used to feeling it. But that's the message, is you're bringing the outside, this higher frequency energy, and you're bringing it into your inner world, to your spiritual practice. You're bringing it in to integrate so that you can radiate this energy out and allow other people to see it as well. So your message from source is really about, as you're bringing this energy in, grounding it down and allowing it to manifest into the physical world. So let's look at your lesson or challenge for this last week of March for Earth signs 2023. And we have the Two of Wands. You've had a lot of fire this month. 1, 2. Yeah, this will be your third fire card. So there's something going on with your lessons and your challenges that are tied to your passions. Maybe it's allowing your passions to come forward, allowing something to work with it, but working with some fire energy and starting to understand it. There's a challenge that's coming up with that this month for you Earth signs. And it's the Two of Wands. So this is a little bit of a playful energy, a little bit of a, they're saying seductive, and I'm not sure why they're saying that yet, but it's about learning how to have fun. This month has been a pretty serious energy month. You've got some initiations, you're releasing some things from the past, but your challenge, this last challenge for this last week, is about how do you have fun with that? How do you still enjoy, like enjoy as in giggle and laugh, be playful? They're saying that's the definition of seduction, is learning how to be playful. But learning how to play with the energy and allow it to show up in entertaining ways. Find ways to tap into your golden solar dragon that's fun. Learn how to work with grounding that energy into your system in this last week, but do it in a way that's enjoyable, like taking a salt bath, like I said, going for a hike, sitting on a rock. And it may not sound fun, but as you're doing it, visualize this golden stream of energy coming in and flowing down and anchoring you into Earth. And find ways to, as you're doing that, listen for the birds. Look for the squirrels, because they will be moving around at that time. And start to really just be aware of your world and find pleasure in the small things. They're saying being very aware of the little details of life bring amazing amounts of happiness and peace. We just tend to rush around because we have work, we have jobs, we have groceries, we got to get home, we got to clean the house. And this card is saying, have some fun in there. Enjoy life. It's okay to have fun. And notice the little details. There's so much that can be enjoyed by slowing down and observing a flower as it opens and things like that. So hopefully those messages resonate for you Earth energy elementals. And if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like on it. If you're enjoying this type of content, please hit that little subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. And if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or even criticisms, you can drop those in the comments section below. All I ask is that we be respectful. I think we all can use a little bit more of that in our lives. And let me know if you like the music or you don't, because that's something I can adjust. I will talk to you guys in a future video, and have a great month of March.